In this video, I'm going to show you how to take an existing template like this one and how to make it taller, but the same diameter. And then the other thing I'm going to do is show you how to make this a bigger diameter. So say that this diameter is too narrow for you and you want it to be a little bit bigger, but you want to keep this conical shape. How do you do that? These are some of the tools that you'll need. I have a compass, I have a roll of masking tape, a Sharpie, some scissors, a pencil. It can be a colored pencil, a regular pencil, and then just a straight edge or a ruler. All right, let's get started. So for the first one, I'm going to show you how to make this template taller. I'm going to take a little bit of masking tape and I'm going to just tape down a couple of the edges here just to make sure it doesn't shift while I'm altering it. Then I'm going to take my straight edge and I'm going to measure along this straight edge using a pencil, a pen, a marker, and I'm going to measure along that straight edge. And I'm going to go both ways. I'm going to extend beyond the template this direction, and I'm going to go pretty far down this way also. So there you can see my line. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to find the straight edge here, and I'm going to go ahead and go that way, and then also extend it above the template. So what I am looking for, what the most important part of this whole process is to find the center point of my circle, which in this case is where these two lines intersect. So these are both radial lines and they intersect at a center point of the circle. Now I know where I can put my compass, which is this tool here. I can put my compass on that center point here, and then I can extend this all the way as tall as I want it. So if I want it to be this tall, I could leave my compass at this opening. If I wanted to make it taller, I would just open it up a little bit wider. If I wanted to make it shorter, I would close it up a little bit. Okay, so I'm measuring this pencil point to the center point of my circle. And now I'm going to draw another curve. And this curve here is going to heighten my template and make it a little bit longer. So then what I can do is I'm going to just darken these up just a little bit. And I also need to redraw this curve down here because I want this to be the same. I just want it to be a little bit taller. So now what I have is a new template that is a little bit taller than the last one. So I'll draw the outline. I'll just freehand this just so you can see it a little bit better because of the video. So now this is my new taller template. And here is that original, again, just for a visual. All right, so then this one I would cut out and that would be a new template that's taller. Okay, now let's say that I want to make the template wider. I'm going to again tape my template down. I'm going to find that center point again. So I'm going to take my ruler or my straight edge and I'm going to line it up right with that line, find my center point. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to find the center point of these two radial lines of my template. Okay, so now I've got the center point. Let me mark that with the marker so you can see it right there. From this point, I can line up my straight edge on that point and I can widen this template or I can narrow this template. So it just depends on how much bigger you want this diameter. Maybe I want this to be a lot wider in diameter. So maybe I want to come out here. And then this template would carry on around and line up out here. Maybe I just want to make a subtle difference, and so then maybe I just lengthen it this much. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to take my straight edge, my pencil, and I'm going to draw another radial line. So this is a new radial line that now, again, lines up with that center point, which is really important, but creates a little bit more width. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace around this template. So I can trace this line here. I can trace this line up here. And then I also want to trace outside of the template. And then I'll remove it. Okay, so now you can see the original template and then the extension I want to make. To make that extension, I need my compass again. And I'm going to line this point up with the top line of this, and I'm going to try to match that curve all the way around. So see how I'm matching that circle? And then I'm going to extend it. I'm going to extend this curve into this new radial line that I made. Now I'm going to close up my compass here until I match it with this bottom curve of my original. And I'm going to follow that curve all the way around, and I'm going to extend it through my new radial line, which is this darker continuous line out here. Okay, so now what I've done is I've created a new wider template, and I will draw the outline of that template so that you can see it. I'm going to freehand this in marker, although now, you know, because I'm freehanding it, my curves aren't going to be exact, but you get the idea. So this is the shape that I would cut out, and this would be my new wider template. And here is the original, just so that you can see the difference here. So it's the same height, it is just a little bit wider. Very important though, if you want to keep the conical structure of this, that you do this with a compass on paper so that you follow the curve and just make a new radial line to match it up. All right, thanks for watching.